Jill's Zipforms.
Oh, good to report.
Okay. So this is really simple. It's really not that difficult to create one of your own. Very so that we can. Okay, that's fine. Maybe it will make the discussion a lot faster if we live that way. So as we log into Zipforms, you see that you will be automatically directed to all of your transactions. Beside that transaction tab, we have the templates, and you click on that template. And this is where you can create your template. So this is, I will redo what we had earlier so that we can have everything. I can show you the process step by step. All just have to do is to click on the button or the button here, option new, and you can title the template on however you want. In this case, in this transaction or in this template, right, particular template that we are creating for offer or you as a buyer agent making an offer to a listing agent. So that's your role in this case. So we named earlier Jill residential offer to purchase, but just because this is another discussion. Let's say I have my own Zipforms and I'm gonna name it Jerry. Okay. Now you can name it but however you want, but I would personally suggest that you specify if it's a land or residential template. All right, so there will be two different templates that you can create, one for vacant land and one for residential offer to purchase. Okay, so we are creating for residential offer to purchase contract. Now on this auto apply, please do just leave it as it is. Do not automatically apply this template to new transactions. Meaning this means that when you create a new transaction, this template will not just automatically appear to the documents field. You will see that later on. All right. But if you click on automatically apply this template, now it will automatically apply all the documents that we will put into this template will just appear automatically on the transaction that you will be creating. But what if it's a vacant land? So then for sure we don't need this residential offer to purchase because it's a vacant land, right? So we do not want that. So just leave that do not automatically apply as is. All right, so that's how it goes. Let's save it. And there it is. It's Jerry residential offer to purchase. All right. Now, what are the documents? Which are what do we do? What are the needed documents that we needed to do here? I strongly suggest always for you to have a copy of the transaction checklist. We have one transaction checklist for Wisconsin, specifically for Wisconsin, and the other one would be for the Minnesota. And these are all the required documents for the offer to purchase for Minnesota and for offer to purchase for Wisconsin. See, there's also a difference different requirements for vacant land. And you can create a template for the vacant land as well. The same thing goes with the Wisconsin, Minnesota. Okay. So that's what, so when you have this transaction checklist, you can follow through what must, which document we must include in our template, right? So, I'll make it very easy for you guys, since I'm very used to it. The number one thing is the buyer agency. That's a very important, first important document that you and the buyer must sign, before you actually proceed with anything. It's a buyer agency. So click on that. Right. The next thing that you would want to include would be the OTP, or residential offer to purchase. So it doesn't go that way. It's under, it's below there, the options, and you can see it's the vacant land and residential offer to purchase are beside each other. So we click on that. We can also add right away the addendum A, addendum B, if there's a need, because we may, there's a big chances or possibility that you will be needing these documents as well. Then we have two addenda that that are required by our compliance, to be signed by the buyers along with the buyer agency document. Okay, and this addendum, Wisconsin has its own addendum, and the Minnesota, this is for the Minnesota has its own addendum. And you can include that in your templates so that you won't forget that this needs to be signed as well. So how do we do that? You can see here on the left corner of the Zipforms, there's add document. And you can browse for the document. And I'm actually already here actually, but in our Dropbox. And I'll put in the Wisconsin, KW addendum buyer Wisconsin.
Where do you find that addendum if you're not on the McNamee team?
Sure, very, very good question. We can get that form from intranet. You just have to log in to kw.kw.com, KW intranet.
And they'll have the most up-to-date one there. Yeah.
And just go to the bottom part of the page, and you have the MC667 intranet, Market Center 667 intranet. And here in this page, you can see Market Center. Okay. Office tools, it's the description is office tools, access shared office documents and resources. So all of the documents will be here, the forms and the checklists. Okay, and if there will be a revised or updated checklist in the future, Matt will always put them here as well. There you go. Wisconsin addendum to listing contract. Minnesota seller disclosure and waiver, Minnesota buyer disclosure and waiver. So there's a four addendum that you have to have, that you can save in your desktop, or if you use Google Drive, you can also save that in Google Drive. The addendum for Wisconsin addendum for listing and seller. Listing and buyer. Minnesota addendum for seller, listing, and buyer. So these are the two waivers that I'm mentioning for the Minnesota, and for the Wisconsin, these are the two things. Addenda rather. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Now we have all these are actually, oh, sorry, I forgot. Which actually, Jill, this is the one thing that I forgot from the previous class.
Oh,
The agent visual
oh yes. That one
inspection.
gets forgotten a lot.
Yeah, so we also need this one. So the other class was not able to have this. Okay.
I'll
You
let
can
them know.
Yes, you can rearrange all of this however you want it to, however you want them to be arranged, by clicking on organize. So I can put this addendum buyer here, and the Asian visual. Well, I'll leave that here at the last page, last one, and then done organizing. So it's all up to you. Okay. Now, how to prepare these templates? All right. I will have to show you the those important items or lines that are usually being forgotten by agents to either fill out or provide information. Okay, so for buyer agency, the number one thing that is usually being forgotten would be to cross out the tenant's representative, or strike this out. How to strike this out? We simply just highlight it and click on strike out, and that's it. Right, this is very important. If you do not do this and you have submitted it in command, Matt will reject this document. Yes. Okay. The second thing, or you can tick this box. Very important as well. All right, and we usually take the first box. And the last, most common would be form the delivery of documents and written notices, or the way how we communicate with our client. Usually we communicate through them to them through email. So we usually check the email box and put in your email address. So let's say, for example, I'm the agent. I'll put in jerry@McNamee.team.com. Right? And then also your client. Please do not forget to get your client's email address, because if it's not, if you submit this without your client's email address, again, Matt will decline it and will request for you to provide that information. Usually Matt will say, create an addendum to buyer agency to provide this email address. But I can give you a trick that you can just easily type in the email address here of the client. It just in case you forgot to put in your client's email address, and have them initial on the side of on the side of this line. Okay.
So that's an option for them. If they
Yes.
don't want to take the time to do a full amendment, they can just
Exactly.
initial beside.
Exactly.
Sounds like Jerry's had a little experience with that.
Right.
Agents forgetting to put the.
I think I did that.
Okay. Addenda, you put in here the KW addenda. All right, because that's very important. We have to have the KW addendum signed by the buyer along with the buyer agency. So the same thing goes here. You put in your information already because you have that, whatever information you already have, you put that already. Or what I meant is that an information that is that will always be the information that you use, just like your name, your company's name, like that. Sorry, I put the wrong one. Okay, let's firm name. Okay, there you go, and my name. All right, and that's about it. That's how you can prepare your buyer agency, and just hit the back, and it will automatically save whatever changes you made to any of these documents. You just hit the back, it will automatically save that that information or changes that you made. Okay, for offer to purchase, I would also have to remind you, line number 2, to highlight this part and strike this out. Do not forget this part. And this is the most number one or the ultimate part that's being forgotten by the agents. Okay, to strike this out. All right. So then having this template, creating this way, you don't have to do this every time, because when you apply it to the transaction or to a new transaction that you're gonna create one in the future, you just have to apply this template, and it will automatically appear at all the way we set up the template. And of course, one thing that we wanted to make sure is the email field to be always filled out. Okay. So in this case, Jerry at McNameeteam.com. And for the seller, it's the listing agent's email address. It doesn't have to be the seller. Okay, unless it's FSBO, FISBO. All right. Then of course, it would be the seller. But let's say, for example, it's Jill at McNameeteam.com. All right, he's the listing agent. And the same thing company here, and your name. And so it will be a lot faster for you to write the offer by the time you have to create one. You don't have to fill out any of this information because it's already there. For addendum A, addendum B, we don't have to worry any of those yet. I'll show you later on why. Because whatever information that you're going to be putting into the buyer agency or the offer to purchase, it automatically appears to the rest of the documents. Okay, so let me show you also the KW addendum buyer agent, the KW buyer agency addendum for Wisconsin, and this is for buyer side, which they actually didn't have that much of a difference. But anyway, the only when the time that you need it, you have to have this form signed by the buyer. The information that is needed is the name. The date doesn't need it to be put in here because we don't know when the buyer will sign it anyway. So it doesn't have to be put in there. But here they have to choose which one. So if you're going to have to send it through DocuSign or AuthentiSign, you use a radio button that will require them to pick which one they prefer. Okay, so I usually use the radio button so they could just easily check which button they prefer to, and there you go. All right, and that's actually the template. How we create the template. So let's make a test. Let's say, for example, it's time for us to create an offer. We have a buyer and he or she is willing to work with us, and that he's already actually looking at in the market, and he already had his property in mind, and we wanted him to sign the buyer agency first thing. That's the first thing, and also the offer to purchase if there's already property that they are looking for or eyeing for. Now we go back to transactions, and then we create a new transaction. So what this is for purchase, not for listing. Listing is another discussion. So purchase, new purchase or offer. So how to name it? It's up to you. But for me, so we are we are organized with our files. I have it the last name of the client. That's for Jill. That's for example Dormido, and the property address. 3 test drive. Or you can do property address first or the last name. It's up to you. Residential, and then select the template. We created Jerry residential offer to purchase template. I click on that, and then it goes straight to the documents, and you will see the template is already applied. well, it didn't go straight to the documents, but it's no worries with that. Just click on the documents and there are the documents that we prepared earlier. So let me show you what I'm telling you earlier. Let's say, for example, I write in here the buyer's name would be Jill McNamee. All right. And then make sure you don't forget this part, term of agreement. Let's say that it starts today, March 16, and then it ends 6 months, or the duration would be for 6 months. So September would be September 30. Again, don't forget your client's email address, right? So if this part is all up to you. I cannot fill it out for you. And then you go back, go to the offer to purchase, and you can see here, since you already typed in there the buyer's name will automatically appear to all the documents. Right? Now let's say the drafting, the date of this offer will be March 16 as well. There you go, March 16. And then we put in the address. I suggest that to put the address here, actually. This is where you put the address. 123 Test Drive, Hudson, Wisconsin, 54016. Because that will automatically appear in here. Then let's say city of Hudson, county is St. Paul. There you go. All right, so now the rest would be up to you, how you wanted. Make sure that if there is a term that you wanted to be part of the contract, don't forget to mark it. Let's say, for example, usually the client, the agents, where's that? Financial. There you go. Usually the agents would just type here conventional, and then they type in here 25 and the dollar amount, but they don't put the X mark here. They thought that that's okay because they already filled out the information. No, you have to put in whatever line that you wanted to be part of the contract. All right, you just put an X on that. So that's self-explanatory. And as you can see, sorry, good thing I remember, we don't have to strike this out because we already prepped our template to have the line 2 strike out. And so you don't have to ever worry about forgetting this part. And that's the same thing with the buyer agency. It's already striked out. I just didn't show you earlier. All right, so as you can see, you don't have to type in this part again. I don't have to type this part again because we typed that in the buyer agency. Now, how about the addenda? Do you have to put in here the KW addendum? So please do not type in here the KW addendum. The KW addendum is only for the buyer agency. and not for offer to purchase, okay? If there's an addendum A, addendum B or O, or addendum S, no. Yeah, then you can put that in here. Let's say, for example, you do have an addendum A, then you put here addendum A as part of the contract. All right, but not the KW addendum. Matt will just, yeah. All right. Let's go to back and let me show you what the addendum A looks like now. It has the date of the offer to purchase. It has the name of the buyer. It has the address. So all you just have to do, excuse me, all you just have to do is to put in whatever whatever line you want it to be part of the contract. Like for example, seller's contribution. And it's the same thing goes in here. So I didn't actually, we have to change this in the template because this is an old address of KW. So we have to change that, but I didn't change that. That's my fault. So you have to go back to your template and make sure your details, all your details are correct. Okay. Just review them one by one. I didn't review the addendum A, and that's not a good thing. Let's go to addendum B. It's the same thing. It shows everything that you have already put into the other offer. And the agent visual inspection, you have to fill this in. Is it a single family? How many bedrooms? How many baths? And the seller's name. Okay. And you fill this out. When submitting in command, you don't have to include this page. Just include the second page. I would strongly suggest. And that's your offer to, that's the start, all you needed for you to make an offer and hopefully get accepted.
Does anybody?
So now it's time for you to ask questions.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on,
No.
do you guys think you could
Template's
actually fill
Yeah.
out your template?
That's
Okay.
good. Yeah, I have the template. When I had to change something, like I had both of them in there now in the template, like the old thing and the new thing. I just need to remember. So then my confusion is always, is there a faster way? So now I have this all in here. I have my template. Then I have to get it over to DocuSign.
So,
And that's like individually get it, and some of the stuff you have to put in the template stuff, like type E and that stuff I do and cross out, and I do that all in DocuSign.
so what is your question for Jerry then? Is there?
Is there a faster way to do it, or is that just the only way to do it?
Faster way to send it to the buyer for them to sign?
No, the stuff you have to make changes on it in DocuSign. So like anything you maybe have to put into it, or do you do it all in Zipforms?
This is the fastest way. You do it
Okay.
in
Yeah, you
Zipforms.
would do, yeah, you would do it all in Zipforms. What would you
Yeah.
change after you got it over to DocuSign?
Well, in DocuSign, sometimes I'll put the, well, you have to put all the signature boxes and all the little X's and all the stuff like that.
Oh, I think I'm getting her question. Is there, if there's a faster way to, like, all of the information is already there when you go to the, it's time for you to write the offer, the information is already there. Okay, let's go back to the template. Sorry. So here's the template. You can always change the template, especially if there's a good question earlier the earlier class, where what happens if the one of the documents state documents has an update or revision. So we can actually delete this document, the offer to purchase, since it's the old version. There you go, that's the delete button, and then find the form here and then put it back again. That's one thing how we can change it. I just wanted to brought that up as well. Now, I know there are agents that are used to a specific way, or when they make an offer, they have this same type way, the same way of writing an offer. Like, for example, inspection contingency. You always make an offer with 7 days. If that's how you do your offer, that's what I'm just trying to say. Then you can do that.
That's a good.
Just
That's a good.
X that out, X this written testing also,
And
and then put on the 7 days, and then the financing commitment as well. Let's say that you just wanted to put in conventional, and then maybe you can change it later than if it's in a different case. But if you think this will be faster because this is how you always make your offer, then you can already put in the information. And when you apply that to the this template to the transaction, it always have this information already put in.
So I have a question for you, Jerry.
Yes.
What if I'm an agent that writes tons and tons of offers? Could I have a template for a conventional offer, a template for a FHA?
idea.
You know what
Yes.
Could I have
exactly.
multiple offers, or multiple templates
Multiple templates. Yes,
for different
exactly.
for different types of offers?
That's actually really good.
You could also pre-set up your condominium offer to purchase, your land,
Yes.
your vacant land offer to purchase. All those different ones so that they're pre-set up.
Yes. That's exactly why I said you wanted to be specific with what type of template it is. Jerry residential offer to purchase. Now, since I mentioned earlier, it could be a vacant land. Now, Jill brought up a very good case where you can also make it residential conventional, residential FHA, VA, and all those other differences, different templates that you can create. So then when you go back to the transaction, and it's time for you to create a new one. Sorry, this will be very quick. I wouldn't fill out everything of it. you have the choices here. When you click My Templates, all of the templates that you have created will be in here, and you just have to click which one is applicable to what you're writing for.
So you could have multiple,
That's a great idea.
yeah, multiple templates for things.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, meaning at the first, it's just gonna be a lot of work in the beginning, but then afterwards, after you have created this template, you don't have to worry about them at all. It's gonna be very easy and very fast moving forward.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay,
That's
all
right.
right. Okay, is
I
there,
can delete all of your tests.
yeah, you can delete all your tests. Any
Yeah.
other questions you guys have on that before I let Jerry go?
No, that's awesome and very helpful.
Yeah, that was really helpful, Jerry.
My pleasure.
Okay, so Jerry is a wealth of knowledge in terms of systems managing, once you get an accepted offer. Do you have any other questions while we have him on the phone that you want to ask him?
No, I'm just slow at everything and I overthink it and I take forever doing everything. So that's what I'm good at. But I
Okay,
do have those templates in there.
yeah. Okay, well, we'll maybe have you on again, Jerry, later if I see a need for, different things, so.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, awesome, great job. Thank you, Jerry.
Thanks, Jerry.
My pleasure. Yeah, thank
Bye.
you all. Bye.
So where is the elevator?